Hey, welcome back. I'm Alan Hopgood, and in this episode I'm going to share how you can use a capo for campfire songs. Now, the tiny capo can cause a few brain cells to go haywire and where to put them. So in this episode I'm going to share exactly what you need to do so you have full confidence of playing great campfire songs. Alright, let's get into it. Let's dive into the topic of how to use a capo for campfire songs. Now, we're going to look at what you need to know first. It's not exactly musical, but it sets you up on the path so you can confidently move that capo around and know exactly where to go. And then we're going to look at two reasons why you should use a capo. And no, it's not because to get around or get out of learning bar chords. That's going to happen, but this is something a little bit different. And I'm going to share a couple examples of how to put all this into practice, give you a couple examples of great campfire songs to play. All right, let's go. First thing you need to know about understanding how to use this capo is the musical alphabet that we have. All right, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp. G sharp, sorry. All right, and each of these sharps can be either sharp of the letter previously or a flat of the letter coming backwards. So in this case, A sharp, it's also B flat because we got B there and we're coming back down. Now, we can lay this out on one string, and this is the real key to understand. So all these notes can lay out on one string and just keep repeating. All right, so let's look at A. We start our open A string, all right, the fifth string there. If we go one fret up, we get an A sharp, right? Another, we get B, C, C sharp, D sharp, E, F, so on and so forth. Before it goes back to A, right up here on the 12th fret, and just keeps repeating, all right? The same thing happens on our E string, our lower E string, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, so on and so forth, all the way through. Now, this is key, and knowing these notes along these two strings, on string 6 and string 5, is key to understanding where to place your capo. But let's say we know that song, we know a song here, all right, but that's a G, but we want to play A. Now, all we need to do is transfer this note along, all right? So we can keep the same shape, and as long as we know what our root note is, so we go on G sharp, A, okay? So 2 frets up, we get the, but it doesn't sound quite good. So that's where we got to know two things, right? Our root note in relation to our nut. This white thing here is called the guitar nut, or the nut of the guitar. So we know that that's 3 frets away, all right? That's our G, all right? But we want to play a song that's in the key of A, okay? So we know A is 2 frets away from G, right? So that's where our root note's got to be, but in relation to where the G is to the nut, that's 3 frets up. So just think, this capo is like your nut, and we're just going to move that along, okay? So if we're here on the 5th fret for the A, what we're going to do, that's going to be 3 frets away from the nut. So we just use our capo on fret 2 there, 1, 2, 3 away, play the G shape, and we've got an A chord, all right? And we can get into playing songs like that. Same thing on the 5th string. So if we're playing a C chord, we got the C there. The 3rd fret of the 5th string is the C note, okay? So let's say we want to play something in the key of F, because an open F chord is tricky, all right? So what we're going to do, we're going to take that C shape, that root note, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets. So we've got the C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, without a capo, it's going to sound really odd. It's not going to sound quite nice. But if we realize, okay, when we play the C, that's 3 frets away from the nut, all right? And if we know where our F note is for our F chord, all we do is get the F, go back 3, and then we've got it in pitch or sounding like an F chord. Right? Okay, and you can do this with any chord. Right? Each one of these notes can start anywhere on the string. So it could be an E on the low E string, and we want to move it to the key of B, for example. All right, let's do this one. So we go from E, we've got to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember it repeats? 5, 6, 7. Let's say we're playing an open E chord, or it could be a minor chord. We've got to move that open string up 7. So we've got to come up to the 7th fret. Right, 7 spaces. All right, but now we're going to play that just like we did there. And this one gets a little tricky because there's no, it's an open string and it can confuse people. All right, but if we look here, our open string is going to be, if we just take that shape up, this finger is 2 frets above the open string. So we've got to slide that up, and then we've got our E chord. But, of course, this one, we want to play a B chord. All we need to do is, like, our fingers are 2 frets away from the open string, but in this case, the open E needs to come up 7th fret. So that's going to be where our root note is. We put that on the 7th fret, right? Because that is acting as our open string root, and we play exactly the same shape. And then we've got our B chord. So you don't have to be worried about a B chord. You don't have to be worried about an F chord, a B flat chord. Any chord that feels crazy when you see it in a song, you can get around with it with a capo. 2 reasons why you need to use a capo. 1, not every song that you want to play, if you can sing or you have a desire to sing, is going to be in a friendly key for you. All right, so you need to know how to move it around to suit your voice. Okay, so if it's in the key of B, like B, or even up if we're doing it like that, but that's just way too high for our voice, and we think, we're going to do it a little bit lower. We're going to drop it down to A, for example. We just know where our root note is back here, so we put the capo back there, and we've got our A chord. All right. The other reason you need to know how to use a capo, because it's going to come up. You're playing songs at Campfire, a party, and you've got your list of songs, and there's a female singer there, and she wants to join in. Right, a lot of fun to do this, but she likes the songs that you got, but she does, because naturally female voices are higher than a male voice. She's going to want that song in a different key. So if you know, okay, I know that song in the key of C, and I've got to put it in a key that works for her. If she's a good singer, she'll know what key. But let's say she wants it in the key of D, all right? So instead of you learning a song, right, and then, okay, what's the next chords? All we're going to do is take our root note of our C chord, take it up to the D, all right? But bear in mind, we have to have it 3 frets away from the nut. 3 frets away, here, so that's on the 5th fret there. We're going to do capo on this too. And then we're in the key that works for her. You need to know this to be able to have a good jam with other people. Let's look at a popular Campfire song like Stand By Me. Okay, we're going to need the chords A, F sharp minor, D, and E. And if we remember from our musical alphabet, to get from a G to an A, it's 2 frets up. Okay, so I'm going to take my G shape up to the A on the 5th fret, and then put my capo on fret 2. Remember, it's got to be 3 frets away from the nut. So capo acts as your nut, and then we've got G. Our G shape, which is sounding an A chord. Okay. Then we're going to go to the E minor shape, and that gets our F sharp minor. And then the C shape, and then the D shape, back to the G shape. Alright? great song to play. It sounds nice and full, then you get that strumming pattern going with it. And we can go up and down the fretboard of this by just knowing where our root notes are on the low two strings and how far away these open shapes are from the nut. All right, what about a song like Dobie Gray's Drift Away? Great campfire song, very big. Give me the big boys and free my soul. Very big sing-along chorus, makes it great for hanging out and sharing music with friends and family. All right, so in the key of B, this time we just take our G shape and we're gonna play the lower note here for the B. We get a B chord, and then we're gonna put the capo back 3 frets. Remember, like it's G's there, 3 frets back to the nut. All right, so if our B is here, we're going to go 3 frets back before we put the capo on. Okay? And we got, give me the big boys and free my soul. Wanna get lost in rock and roll and drift away. So there's not a song that you can't play effectively with a capo. All right. That is how you use a capo to play a campfire song. Okay, so now you know how to use a capo for campfire songs. Now, if you want to learn campfire songs, I can help you out with that. I have a free gift for you, all right? And it's my ultimate 4-chord songbook. Actually, it's not a book, it's more of a video course for you where I've taken classic campfire style songs, broken them down to a single acoustic guitar, because that's how you're going to be playing them, and giving you chord charts, strumming patterns, and step-by-step instructions how to get through that song. Okay, so you get 1 song a month. It's all got my CPR framework in there as well, which I've talked about on other videos. And you're going to just have that there, easy access, 24/7 access. All you need to do is just follow the link below and drop your name and email there, and you get instant access to the thing. And if you need help with how to practice campfire songs on guitar effectively, watch this video. It's going to help you out. All right, I'll see you on the next one.